Hi, we're here with Zach. He's the president of the University of Wyoming's Motorsport Club. And this year they have decided to completely redesign their steering wheel. So we wanted to ask him a couple questions about that. Zach, before working with Snaptron, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced with the previous steering wheel?
Buttons not depressing. Not sure if they did or not, and braking. Frankly, we would, not much thought went into the buttons themselves, and they were replaceable. I would order a couple more off of Amazon if there was something that broke when it did likely break pretty often. So, it was kind of a pain. We just had some on retainer to throw in there, and they were more for necessity. We didn't, maximize the amount of buttons we used because we didn't want to have that many on there.
Perfect. Well, with this ground up redesign of the steering wheel, how do you feel that these metal dome switches feel tactically versus previous design?
Oh, it's great. It's it's the sensation of having it feedback immediately, knowing that it's been pushed, having that there's not that much space that needs to be depressed, but once it is, it tells you immediately. It helps with troubleshooting for sure, in that this isn't happening. Well, it's not because the button's wrong, right? It's because something isn't wired right. And then when actually driving the car, it does really make the difference to have the security of knowing that the button's been pressed, the action will follow.
Yeah,
right.
So you say you trust the button presses and that you have a lot more security in knowing, even when it comes down to high speed in the moment, whatever you're gonna be pressing, it's gonna be registered, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's there's so many things going through your head when you're driving the car, that having that one more assurance that this isn't going to break, this is going to do what it's supposed to do, and I know that in the moment is amazing.
That's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the maybe future plans for the Baja car?
Absolutely, yeah. So the competitions that we go to host small individual events that take between 30 seconds to a minute each. But then the culmination is a endurance race. So with this hybrid car, it's a shorter endurance race where all of your energy is filled up before you embark on that race. So there's less needing to come into the pits. There's a scheduled driver change. So there's not too much need to, have driver communication. But with the Baja, it's a 4-hour endurance race that does not have a full tank of gas, or at least enough gas to get through the race. So that, as well as the fact that multiple 60 to 80 drivers are on the track at one time, and it's all wheel-to-wheel racing. So if something breaks, or if you need to come in for gas, or need something in the moment, it's going to be really important to be able to have something accessible on the steering wheel, on kind of the side panel, to be able to communicate with the team, as well as control some of the driver haptics of adjusting some cooling, or adjusting any sensors that are telling you how fast you're going, what your ride is like, all that kind of stuff. And with all of those upgrades that are soon to come to this Baja car in the next years, once we have a solid base under ourselves, Snaptron the switches have already been tried and tested here, and it's the obvious option to be able to implement into our car, to know that once again, when this happens, we're good.
That's perfect to hear, and we're more than happy to help, and we'll be more than happy to help again on the Baja car. So let us know whatever you need.
Amazing.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach.
Nope.